Hello, everyone. Derek Floyd here, Beautiful Now Podcast. Welcome to another edition of Chasing the Impossible. As always, this is the segment where I interview special guests who happen to have accomplished impossible things in their journey to remind you that no matter what you're chasing, no matter what your dream is, how big it is, if it's impossible, you can do it too. Everything is possible. And as always, if you enjoy the content you see here, please hit us with a like or subscribe to the channel. This lets us get the most updated content to you as soon as it's available. And as always, our segments are brought to you by and powered by IK Multimedia. So let me tell you a little bit about my guest today. He just happens to be one-third of one of the most influential acts in the hip-hop culture of all time. He's revered as one of the best MCs of all time. He just happens to have won multiple awards. I got a list here. We're talking number 48 in the greatest of all time for Rolling Stone. We're talking greatest hip hop of all time for MTV. We're talking Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. He's done so much with this group. We all know Run DMC, right? I know I do. Man, I am super excited to talk to this legend, this pioneer who broke ground for so many other artists along the way. He's got so much knowledge he wants to share today. He's going to tell you his story, raw and honest, just like he's always been. Will you please help me welcome my man, pioneer, legend, Darryl DMC McDaniels. Darryl, are you there, bro?
What's up, y'all? DMC is in the place to be.
There he is. What's good, man? What's good?
Nothing is snowing.
Snowing?
Again.
For real?
Again. Yeah. Supposed to get 8 inches. We got 20 inches of 3 days ago. Now we got another 8 to go on top of it.
Oh man, so y'all got that eastern weather, man. Sorry about that cold. That's that New York stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, up here in Charlotte, we got a little bit of snow. Huh?
Right.
You love it.
I love it. Yeah.
Well, we got a little bit of snow here in Charlotte this week, so we kind of kept up with you. Not really big time, but a little something.
Right.
Well, man, thanks for taking a few minutes to talk to the subscribers, man. Like I said, I always appreciate you, man. And as I said before, you're a mentor to so many, and I've got so much mad respect for all the things you've done. You've opened doors for so many people, including people like myself. So, mad respect for all the things you've done and what you continue to do with your career now. Thanks for being here, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and jump on into the interview, man, and just get these people excited because they've been waiting to talk to you, to hear about you. So let's go with the very first question, man, which is something that, maybe you didn't know about me, you didn't think I would ask, but it's more like when people mention DMC. Words like legend, trailblazer, one of the most influential hip-hop artists, and some pretty big things come up out of the space. When you and the fellas first started together in Hollis, Queens, what were you guys trying to do? What was the original vision for where you're going with DMC?
The original vision was just to get your record played on a Friday night or Saturday night hip-hop show. Like, I speak at a lot of high schools and middle schools and stuff, and kids don't understand that hip-hop wasn't on the radio 24 hours, 7 days a week. It was regulated to Friday, Saturday night. There was a few shows that would come on maybe a Monday or a Wednesday. But the whole destination was to have Mr. Magic, Chuck Chillout, Marley Marl, Red Alert, the Awesome 2 or the Supreme Team. Those were some of the radio shows that was on at the time to get your record played on there, just like Grandmaster Flash and the Treacherous 3 and everybody but Africa Bambaataa and the Zulu Nation. So it wasn't this big showbiz dream for me, per se. For Run, whose brother, Joseph Simmons, his brother Russell Simmons, Russell was already in the business of hip-hop before recorded hip-hop. Because a lot of people base the greatness of hip-hop off the people who made records, the recorded hip-hop era. Everything after rap is the light. But the greatest, most influential innovators to ever do it was all the MCs and DJs who were DJing rapping before rap was even recorded. Melly Mel, Grandmaster Cass, Kool Moe Dee, Reggie Reg, Sha Rock, which is a female from the Funky 4+1 who is better than 99% of the guys out today. People don't understand that. So, before rap was recorded, it was about being recognized as the best to do it, the best soloist artist, or the best group who had the best DJ, the best beats, the best rhymes. And that's what it was. So that became on records, but it wasn't like, oh, we're going to get record deals and we're going to make videos and we're going to tour. It was just, yo, we got to get our records played on a Friday night and Saturday night on a hip hop show. If that happens, you've made it.
Who knew that was the simplest dream, just to get played on the radio station, get people to hear your jam. That was all you needed, man. That's so crazy. Yeah. That's a good look.
And all the people that came before quality, though. Yeah, it had to be quality. The people before us taught us that you had to make some good songs. You know what I'm saying? You had to have flavor. You had to be unique. You had to have style. You had to have grace, and that gave you something that's what made it enthusiastic. That's what made it exciting. You had to say, okay, in order for me to fit in, how's my record going to sound? What's my beat going to be? What am I going to rap about?
Right. I love that you mentioned all the people that came before you, because we talk about you because, of course, you were a legend. You are a pioneer. You have done so many things that were first for many. You said the real hip-hop started before you started, and you engulfed and encompassed all that you saw around to make the hip-hop that we saw later. It was like it sped up, and then it got to you, and you kind of gave us the vision of what hip-hop was really about at that time. That's so cool. So cool.
Run DMC is just the poster child of the hip-hop culture. The style, the potential, the ability, to fit in as a legitimate form of entertainment. I think that's what we represent. So when we came into the hip hop business, we knew that we had a responsibility to represent the real pioneers and legends who created this, to carry on their legacy and their purpose in order to educate, motivate, inspire, and teach people about what hip hop totally is about. Now, hip-hop is just based on who's successful in the music business. And that's doing a disservice to the culture. But back then, it was just so exciting because Run DMC, we gave permission to LL. We gave permission to the Beastie Boys. We gave permission to Public Enemy. We gave permission to Tribe Called Quest and De La Soul and Naughty by Nature and Stetson Sonic and Rakim and Coogee Rap to be who they are and not follow any given blueprint or mode of so-called music industry perceptions.
I love that.
The way we did it was just, yo, I know them. Like when you saw Run DMC, you didn't see celebrity.
Right.
But being in the music business now, people put celebrity first, which does a disservice to the culture, because anything that is relevant to a culture of a people, place, nation, or whatever you have it gets diluted, polluted, and destroyed once it's commercialized. Now, there's nothing wrong with commercializing it. But then when the powers that be that allow that transformation into the commercial realm, a lot of people tend to leave what's important to the lifeblood and heart of their culture. So when Run DMC came along, we said we're going to be who we already are.
I love that. And when I think about what you created, I always want to go a step backwards and think, the young DMC, the kid that just came out of Hollis, Queens. Did he have any other passions other than rapping, or did you always want to do music? What was the thing is there anything else that you wanted to do other than music?
I didn't know what I wanted to do. I went to Catholic school. I was a straight A student.
Catholic school? Really? Check you out.
Yeah, I went to Catholic school my whole life. Catholic elementary, Catholic high school, Catholic college. And the only thing I cared about when I was younger was comic books. All I did was read, collect, and draw comic books. So
you were a comic collector. I love comics too, so I'm gonna throw you out on that. I'm an old school comic guy. What was your favorite comic, by the way, back in the day?
My favorite comic books was Marvel comic books.
Marvel.
My favorite, my favorite comic book, Captain America, Hulk, Spider-Man. Spider-Man lived in Queens. See, Marvel was relevant to my life because DC was cool though. I collected DC. I love the Flash. the Justice League, Wonder Woman, Batman was badass and all of that. But the beautiful thing about Marvel was Stan Lee was a genius because he put the superheroes in New York City. So it was reality to me. DC, Gotham, and Metropolis was trying to be New York City. And it was cool. It was a great concept. But Stan Lee really made New York City a character. It gave that Marvel universe life. It brought it to life. So every time I read a Marvel comic book, you know what I'm saying? I'm this little Catholic school kid that can't go off the block damn near. My mother, you don't leave this block when I was a kid. So every time I'm opening up a Marvel comic book, it gave me a geography lesson and a history lesson about the city that I lived in. I saw Hell's Kitchen. I saw the Lower East Side. I saw Harlem. I saw Park Avenue. I saw 42nd Street. I saw the Empire State Building. So when I was a kid, you know what I'm saying, going to Catholic school, being a straight A student, you know, reading comic books, I wasn't the coolest person in the neighborhood. But comic books was an escape for my imagination. So if you combine imagination with education, you get a transformation. So once
Wait a minute, say that one more time, because that's profound.
Oh, you combine imagination with education, you get a transformation.
That's
profound.
So
when hip hop comes over the bridge, you know, my whole childhood, I'm using my mind and my imagination, pretending I'm Spider-Man, because Spider-Man lives in Queens like me. That was something to live up to. You know, most of the superheroes are smarts. You know, when I read comic books, it was the only time I saw smart people was powerful. Tony Stark, Reed Richards, you know, Dr. Bruce Banner, who turns into the Hulk. So I'm embracing all of that through my imagination. This thing called hip hop comes over the bridge from the Bronx and allows me, with all that's inside of me, nowhere for it to go. Hip hop gives me that outlet. So that's why I was so successful in hip hop. You know, he saw hip hop being born in his living room. His brother Russ was managing, you know, Curtis Blow, Jimmy Spicer, Houdini. So when Run was a 12-year-old kid, every time he woke up, he saw Flash. He saw DJ Hollywood. He saw Busy Bee and Love Buck Starcy. He saw that being born in his living room. So his desire was to become a performer and an entertainer so he could be like, you know, Marvin Gaye or Stevie Wonder and Al Green in them and Parliament Funkadelic and Earth, Wind and Fire. My thing was the same thing, except I didn't want to be in music business. I wanted to be a real superhero. So my inspiration allowed me to get on a mic and transform Darryl Mic Controller DMC on a microphone. So that use of creativity and the diversity of creativity, Run being who he is with his inspiration, DMC being who he is with his inspiration. When we came together a team, it was a full spectrum of something that everybody could relate to. Then you add Jam Master Jay, who was he was one of the best DJs in the neighborhood growing up. So Jay was doing music, playing in the high school band. So he was into music since he was, you know, a baby. And when this opportunity that hip hop allows you to take what's inside of you and share it with the world, for us, it wasn't for entertainment purposes. It was for us to express, you know, artistically and creatively who we are, which would be utilized in the entertainment business.
Wow. You just spit so much game there. It was just like knowledge just came out of nowhere, and people were starting to go, "Wow, that's where DMC came from." That blew my mind.
So, I'm a superhero on the microphone.
Oh, dude, I'm tripping on it. Like that's so cool. And so I take that and I go from superhero to becoming DMC. You had a cape on when you were with Run DMC. That was your cape. You did your thing. You took over. You know, you had your powers of the rhyme. That's how you did it.
Exactly.
It was so cool. So, you know, your first record, DMC, the first real one, broke new ground.
First album.
The first album that was insane. Making Room for King of Rock, and you know, then the Monster Smash, Raising Hell. I mean, you guys took it to the next level. What moment did you realize? Okay, we've made it to like that spot. We're at the top of the heap here. We've done it. We've reached success.
Well, it wasn't. I mean, from what people was telling us, that you know, after we did when we did the Raising Hell album and we did Walk This Way with Aerosmith, and on the same album we had the record My Adidas. which got us an endorsement. We was the first non-athletic entity to receive a major endorsement from a sports or an apparel company. And I'm like, yo, I don't even play basketball, and I get, I got a sneaker deal like Jordan and Jabbar and all the guys before me and stuff like that. But I guess
That's
it was,
so cool, dude. That's so cool.
yeah, I guess it was, it was walked this way. But actually, it started with Rockbox. 1984, Rockbox was the first rap video on MTV. So now MTV, which was very influential in the building a foundation of rap as a genre across the world, now Rockbox puts us in everybody's living room. So that was the opening up of the doors. That's 84. 1985, we do a song called The King of Rock. You know what I'm saying? I had such a big imagination. This little kid considered himself the king of rock. And we did this video about Run DMC being denied entry into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum. Now, what's significant about that is we got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2009. And at the induction, they called me over and said, D, we need to tell you guys something. You guys were prophetic. And I was like, what are you talking about? They say in 1985, we did a video called The King of Rock with Run DMC being denied entry into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He said, y'all did that in 1985. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame did not exist until 1986. When they told me that, I was like, wow. So, for my crazy ass to manifest that, one thing it made me do is watch what I say. And the power of life and death is on the tongue and all of that.
Yes, sir.
So we did that in 85. And then in 1986, we do the Raising Hell album. And that just changed everything, especially what we did with Walk This Way. People say when they look at that Walk This Way video, and Steven Tyler takes the mic stand and knocks down the wall separating us, they say that didn't just happen in the video. I mean, to this day when I travel, they go, yo, that really happened in the world. We put rock and rap together, black people and white people together. We changed fashion. We molded cultures together. We took hip hop into an international, global level. And it was, probably at that minute when we knew, okay, something really unique is going on here. But it still wasn't where we said we did something, because it just inspired us to keep doing what we was doing.
And that's just still amazing. Your highs on your arc of your journey still blow my mind, and we're all still vibing from them because you've done so much for us. Each of those highs were part of something we did for us as part of our thing.
Exactly. I mean, our whole thing was, like I said, the pioneers and legends before us opened the door for us. So once Run DMC was put in that position, we knew we had to carry that responsibility. So we had to do it for everybody. EPMD, everybody says, yo, we were just trying to be like Run DMC. You speak to Ice-T over in LA, he's over there, he said, yo, these dudes came along and made positivity gangster. I'm a drug dealer. I'm a pimp and a drug dealer, and they're showing me that I could change my life and do something safe and sound, and
so cool.
and enjoy what I'm doing. And so I think for us, it's all about responsibility. That's one of the things that's missing in the hip hop culture today. You know what I'm saying? Is that responsibility.
Yeah. Cool, man. That's a beautiful way to put it out there, and that leads us to another thought, which was, you broke such new ground with endorsement deal. Then you broke ground again with the moment with Aerosmith where you combined rock. Wait, go ahead.
Oh,
you good?
I'm good. Go ahead.
You good? You good?
Yes,
you good?
sir.
Take a second. Let you catch up. I should get my water too. You good? You gotta get the water. So, like I said, you broke ground with the endorsement deal, showed the world that this could be done. Then you changed the game again, combining rock and rap with the Aerosmith thing, Walk This Way, which no one saw coming. So how did that come about, and whose idea was it to bring Aerosmith together with y'all?
Many years before the making of Rapper's Delight, what Run DMC did with rock and rap wasn't a new thing that we invented. when we was doing all those block parties and all those street parties and park parties and house parties, rock songs were just as purposeful and being utilized with the breakbeats as a James Brown record, as a jazz record, as a funk record, and as a disco record. So hip hop always had a foundation of rock music there. It's just nobody did it on records. So originally, after we did Rock Box, which was the first rock rap record, then we did King of Rock, which was the second rock rap record. On every album, we would do a rock song. Even on Raising Hell, we had a rock song called the title track, Raising Hell. But coming into the last moments of making the album, Jay was like, yo, we're going to sample Toys in the Attic. Because that's all we knew it was. The album with the toys on it. Get that out and play number 4. Because we didn't know it was Walk This Way or Aerosmith, because the DJs would scratch out the titles of the songs on a label of the records. So, you know, as a kid growing up, when it's time to freestyle, get the Toys in the Attic album and play number 4, the record with the beat and the guitars. So we was going to do a loop of that song. You know what I'm saying? We was going to loop the beat and the guitars. As soon as the guitars, and y'all wasn't going to hear all the singing and all the guitar playing through it. It was just going to be the and Jay back to the beginning. So it's going to be drums, guitar, drum, loop. Drums, guitar, drum, loop. And I even remember my rhyme, because it's 86 now. We came out in 83. It was going to be DMC and a place to be. I've been rhyming on a mic since 83. I'm the best MC in history. There will never be an MC better than me. That's why I'm the K-I-N-G. And then Run was supposed to go, I'm DJ Run and I'm here to get it done. I'm number 1 and I'm having fun. Typical Run DMC stuff. But our producer at the time, who was working with us, was Rick Rubin. And he suggested that we do the record over the way the band originally did it. So we're thinking from a hip-hop mentality. Okay, we're going to sample it and we're going to rhyme. Rick said, no, y'all should do the record over the way the band originally did it. So Jay was like, yo, rest in peace. Jay was like, yo, that's going to be a great idea. That's never been done before. So me and Run, we was like, yo, hold up, wait, stop, wait a minute. And Run said was, D got rhymes. D got rhymes. He got to say his rhymes. We was like, yo, y'all taking this rock rap thing too far. We'll do a rock song, but we got a rhyme on it. But Rick was like, no, he was insistent. Take the record home, put it on the turntables, let it play, write down that, because me and Run had never heard the whole record. We only knew the first 30 seconds of it. So we take the record home, put the needle on the record, and then the song comes on, backstroke lover, how they need to go. Me and Run is like, hell no, this is country bumpkin music, this is hillbilly gibberish, this is rock and roll fantasy. Like we said, you're gonna ruin us, man. Run's whole thing was D got rhymes, D gotta say his rhymes. So with a little reluctance, we said, okay, we'll do it. You know, we were stubborn about it. It took us about a week to go to the studio to do it. And the whole moral here is, especially to the young people, always be open to learn new things and try something different, because it might not just only change your life, it could change the world. So fate habits that, Jay gets us to do the record. But Rick was smart. He took it another level. He didn't just let us do the record over. He went and got the original guys that did the song to do it with us. So now what was powerful about that is you got 2 generations from 2 different cultures at the same time. Now, if me and Run would have just did it alone, it'd have been something more, you'll remember it. And even if we did it the first way without using the record the way they did it, if we didn't do their lyrics, when rhymed over it, y'all be remember Run and them did their rock song? But the fact that we did it with Aerosmith was the game changer. The coming together, the unity, the working together, that had a powerful impact on the listener and the viewer. And once we did that, and MTV put that video on TV, that's when, to answer your earlier question, that's when I started feeling like Mick Jagger. Because now, prior to that, you had to know the albums, you had to know Rockbox and King of Rock, you had to see, Yo MTV Raps to know us, you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm feeling like Mick Jagger because I can't go nowhere because the whole world knows. And now it wasn't just 80s, late 70s, 80s. Now it's everybody who knew that record in 74 when it came out.
Yeah.
So that was the game change. And it wasn't just for our benefit. It was for the benefit that it was so powerful, it gave birth to Limp Bizkit, Korn, Nirvana, Rage Against the Machine, you know what I'm saying? That whole Cypress Hill. So once again, Run DMC influenced the whole birth of a whole new genre, this rock rap genre. You know what I'm saying? Now all these white kids can do rap and all the black kids can do rock without shame because I speak to a lot of kids. I mean, a lot of black folks and a lot of Puerto Rican dudes. In the early 70s, a black dude really couldn't say he was into Ozzy Osbourne without getting teased on. And that's like reverse racism. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things. And then the white kid couldn't get caught listening to Run DMC or Grandmaster Flash, but they had to because we relate to those things. But once Run DMC walked his way out, the black kids could probably say, yo, I'm into heavy metal. And the white kids could probably say, yo, I'm into hip hop. So it erased all misconceptions and, the things that do divide us that people take advantage of.
Man, I love that part of the story. I really love that you guys were the first in so many, and you brought people together by what you were doing. You pushed against it at first, but when it first hit the market, it brought everybody together, the unity of everybody being able to share the same style of music. Let black kids like rock music, let white kids like hip-hop music. It was just the cultures coming together. And you've always been about unity, so that's the blessing of what you do now. Yeah. Now, with all that success, with everything you've done, I talk to so many successful people, and they all tell me, the journey is always great. You get to the top, it's a great high, blah, 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 but there's lows in there somewhere. And was there ever a moment where you got to the top and you go, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. This is not what I expected. I'm out of here. I don't want this. Was there ever a moment that came to you that way?
Well, it wasn't something that was that I did that I thought of myself. It was just something that kind of came upon me because after all of the stuff that we did, we opened up this whole new thing. So I would say from like 89 to 93, you know what I'm saying? We're not the gods anymore. Because, you got Pac, Biggie, KRS-One, Coogee Rap, Big Daddy Kane, and everybody was showing us love. But we were kind of like, the OGs. And that just came about because once you reach those heights of success and everything, what you're doing because you can do it and you're not thinking about anything else, other people who see that they can benefit off it start putting their expectations in front of you. So basically what happened to us was no businessman, no doctor, no lawyer, no teacher, no truck driver, no baseball player, no. Everybody has their highs and lows, you know what I'm saying? So our lows came, but then just because we were diligent and just focusing on, we love to do this hip hop thing. In 1993, Pete Rock produces the title track Down with the King on the Down with the King album Run DMC put out in 93. That record did for Run DMC what people say Walk This Way did for Aerosmith. It brought us back, put us back on the road, back on the chart, back touring, back in the 90s payday. Right when that happened, I woke up the next day wanting to kill myself. And I didn't know what it was. It was just this void in me. And everybody was like, yo, D, how could you be depressed? How could you feel like that? We was the first to go gold, first to go platinum, first on the cover of Rolling Stone, first with the sneaker deals, first with the big tours, first with the coolest movies, like everything. And I just didn't know what it was. And it was like I had to look and examine myself. Son of Byford, brother of Al, Banner's my mother and runs my pal. It's McDaniels, not McDonald's. These rhymes are Darryl's, those burgers are Ronald's. I ran down my family tree, my mother, my father, my brother, and me. And it was just something wasn't right. It was like, there's gotta be more to life than just this showbiz stuff. Like, I love rapping and just being creative, but all these expectations, people starting to say, I make a record, I get on the radio. Now people saying, you need to be on the radio. Or you need to tour, you need to make money, you need to be famous, you need to be number one. And at the time, I didn't know, really? Maybe I do, or whatever. So it just created this empty void in me that became so uncomfortable that I didn't want to live with it no more. So I'm thinking, I'm going to kill myself. And right when I was going to jump off the roof, something in my mind says, hold up, D, before you kill yourself, you got to let the people know about Darryl. See, they know about this DMC guy because you've been telling them about DMC. But the world needs to know who Darryl is before you end it all. So it was just a little sincere act saying, before I kill myself, I want to do a book. And I want to say in the book, what's up, world? I'm DMC, 1/3 of the groundbreaking rap group, Run DMC. You know me, first to go gold, first to go platinum, first on the cover of Rolling Stone, all the stuff that I did as this DMC guy. But then I was like, I'm really just Darryl McDaniels from Hollis, Queens, New York, no different from any boy or girl in this world. I was born May 31st, 1964. And when I got to that part about my identity, I was like, oh, I know my birthday, but I don't know no facts about it. So just to make it more interesting for the reader, I call up my mother and I'm like, I didn't say, Mom, I'm about to kill myself. I need to know this, because she would have lost it. I said, Mom, I'm writing a book, and just to make it more interesting for the reader, I need to know 3 things. How much did I weigh? What time I was born? What hospital? So she tells me those 3 things. I love you too. Hang up the phone. An hour goes by. Now you got to understand where I was at in life. You know what I'm saying? At this point in my life, I'm an alcoholic, suicidal, metaphysical, spiritual wreck. I'm drinking a case of Old English. Not just 140 or 240s. I'm drinking a case of Old English. That wasn't good enough, so Jack Daniels and Jim Beam become my friend. So I'm at the worst place in my life. And it's funny, subconsciously, I found my way to commit suicide because I was drinking myself to death. But making a long story short, an hour goes by, and she calls back with my father. So it's 1993. I'm 35 years old. They say, Darryl, we have something else to tell you. And I'm like, what? I thought it was going to be something like, oh, well, when you was born, there was a power outage in the hospital, and we gave birth to you by candlelight. She didn't say that. She said, well, you was a month old when we brought you home. You're adopted. We love you. Bye. Click. So Down with the King comes out, puts me back up. Before I go back into that same cycle that I've been through for the last, 20 years, there was a revelation. There was a piece of me that was missing. That was the uncomfortable void when I was trying to figure it out. Okay, lifestyles of the rich and famous, this and that. So people need to know, I don't care who you are, we all go through something. So when I found out that, I'm not just DMC, the devastating mic controller, this comic book loving Catholic school kid from Hollis, Queens, New York that wears glasses, whose friend is Jay and Run, and who the guys that changed the whole music business, I found out a missing piece of my identity was that I was adopted. Then I found out I was a foster kid, and it didn't end there. So I'm dealing with all of this stuff, and finally it got to the point where I couldn't take it no more, because now there was something really important for me to do. I always thought my life started in Hollis, Queens, New York. No, I grew up in Hollis, Queens, New York. My life started, the Darryl story, which allowed me to become DMC, started somewhere else. So one of the things that I had to do was I went and got sober. I went to rehab to stop drinking so I could understand what the hell is going on. And it was while I was in rehab that I discovered therapy. And to anybody out there going through anything, especially you men, especially you black men, but white men, black men, Chinese men, y'all are not cool. You're not down. You're not powerful. You're not gangster. The most gangster thing that you can do for yourself is go help yourself. Admit when you need help. Admit that you have a weakness. Admit that you need to do something. Admit that you're fragile. So when I went to therapy, it was the most powerful thing that I ever did. I've been sober 16 years now. And now I can understand what we need. All we need to do is be happy. If you're happy, you don't need to make money. Be happy and the money will come. You don't need to be famous. Be happy. And if it's meant for you to be famous, there's people that's not famous that's way happier and more funner than you because you're so busy trying to be famous. So for me, it was one of those things where I went through all of these processes in all of these situations. The King of Rock was really the setup for what I was put here to represent. You know what I'm saying? And it was just that thing of, don't think that the mighty, invincible DMC devastating mic controller is not like you. Remember, when I was going to write the book, when I said, I'm no different from any boy or girl globally, that had to manifest so that you can see, not just me, that this is true. So that anybody who ever grew up here Run DMC saw, all they saw was the victories. You know what I'm saying? They would have never known about the defeats unless I was confident enough to let you know. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you're going through, whatever trauma you're going through, whatever you've been through in life, I don't care if you're whatever mental health issue it is, anorexia, gambling, alcoholism, substance abuse, whatever happened to you emotionally and spiritually or physically, you can beat and defeat that thing. If you don't admit how you feel, whether good or bad, you never heal. Let me say that again. Because you celebrate DMC. Oh, Christmas time at Hollis, Queens, my Adidas is tricky and stuff like that. But now I found out by me admitting, you know what I'm saying, that by me, I'm always proclaiming the ups. But by me proclaiming the downs, it's even more powerful to y'all than any record I ever made. So what I'm trying to say is, if you remove guilt and shame from whatever happened to you or whatever you've done, you remove the pain. That it's okay not to be okay. I'm living, breathing proof that that's true. I was one of those guys. So if you're going through something, you're not weird, you're not psycho, you're not crazy, you're normal. So if you don't admit how you feel, whether good or bad, you never heal. So for me, it was a discovery to continue, the journey ain't over, to continue the completion of the journey. You know what I'm saying? That's why in my career, I never had a destiny. I never wanted to get money. I wasn't thinking about money. I only cared about comic books. But I was able to turn that desire and utilize it to get the money. You know what I'm saying? So we all fall, we all fail, but all of us are still fabulous in all our own ways.
Wow. Man, I love just hearing that, because that just sets me in a good way and reminds me, we all go through ups and downs, and it's not just a linear straight. It's a lot going on in our life, and the journey is never just a straight line. And we see so many people that are successful.
Same, though.
Exactly.
Everybody's the same. It's like everybody is the same. You know what I'm saying? It's like, the whole thing. The guy with the Bentley and the mansion is no different from the person living in the one-bedroom apartment. And I really mean that. It's not about the things. It's about who you are. Your richness is inside of you. You know what I'm saying?
So let's close this, because you dropped so much knowledge today. Let me frame it with the last question. And again, I appreciate you just taking so much time. Your career has been a legacy. A legacy of so much happened. You've left so many first along the way. You've opened the door for so many other people. You have branched out and become a beacon of light for so many people. And your knowledge goes forth. I love how you're so
I'm not afraid of the dark. Right. I'm not afraid of the dark anymore, because I am the light. I'll be there at the start of the war because I am the fight. I'll be the first to walk through the door. I am not afraid to die for y'all. I'm not going to cry anymore because I already cried. I'll be the cure for all of the ills, all the emotions and the things that kill. Paid my dues like I paid my bills. Still going to feud with the dudes on the hills. It's okay because I'm at ease. Cool like a breeze as it moves through the trees. Just like a breeze as it grows across seas. Sweet melodies is all I need.
As always, man, still rhyming. So the last easy question is, after all that you've done, what's left for Darryl McDaniels? Not DMC, but Darryl the person, Darryl the man.
Oh, Muhammad Ali said something really great in the interview. I saw this little documentary piece about all the trouble that he went through when he gave up the title not to go to the Vietnam War to shoot people that didn't do nothing to him. And it was just so amazing, the knowledge that he dropped about that whole situation. But one of the things that he said that what he's going to do as Muhammad Ali was make better anything that he can while he's here. And I think that's what I think that's the whole responsible thing that's missing from our culture right now. You know what I'm saying? They claim hip hop is the biggest genre globally now. It has overtaken rock and roll and stuff like that. So for us to reach that pinnacle is a lot of responsibility. You know, everybody who is partaking in this music business should force these big corporations to put multi-million dollars back in the communities that they promote and market these records to. You know what I'm saying? To stop teenage pregnancy, to stop the drug use, to stop the killing. We could clean up Camden. We could clean up Compton. We could clean up Chicago and stuff like that. You know, so with all this power, we acting like everything is good, but it's not. And that's what hip hop did when we first came out. Everybody thought New York was so beautiful because, you know, every time you turned the TV on back in the day, you saw Studio 54, right? And you saw the same things now, Bentleys and Rolls Royces, champagne, watches, money, private jets, and all of these people partying and all of this opulence and luxury. And it took some young boys and girls who live every day in these communities to say it's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under. Now that we have hip hop is this $1 trillion organization, why do we allow all this money to go into the pockets of those people that's in these corporations? You know, even as independent artists, if we get rid of distributor, except everybody that we do business to go, there shouldn't be one neighborhood in any black community that doesn't look like Taj Mahal. All the schools, the places the kids go should look like places of opulence so you can give them that vision. See, we didn't have that opportunity because we didn't have those resources. So it's kind of like, you know, the responsibility that, you know, Marvin Gaye took upon himself when he made What's Going On. You know what I'm saying? He knew I can't just sing about sex. My people, these people that come to see me and they go back out those doors. I go to my mansion in LA and they go back into the, I have to be that force, not the politicians, not the religious folks. You know what I'm saying? The politicians make the laws, but we need to change them. So I think for me, it's to utilize this position like a Marvin Gaye, like a Muhammad Ali, like a James Brown, like some of my idols, like Neil Young, who sung the record Ohio about the shooting of the students who was protesting the Vietnam War at Kent University, like John Fogerty to address all the political issues, like John Lennon, like Bob Dylan, like, you know, the singers and the songwriters, the artists, the journalists such as yourselves, the sculptors, the poets, the playwrights. We have power. We got way more power than any government. That's why they always trying to shut us up. You know what I'm saying?
Nice,
so I think it's for me, I got to take everything that I've done and now start utilizing, you know, not pointing fingers. You need to do this. Like I said, people told me I need to do something. I almost died. I don't need to do anything except be happy. So if I could take that same presentation, you know, the hip hop, the breakdance is spun on his head. They said nobody can dance on their head. The breakdancer proved them wrong. Graffiti used to be against the law. Now, once they recognize graffiti as art, the graffiti writer can now display their piece in the same art galleries as the so-called artists. And then, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We used to write on walls because nobody was checking for us. So now I'm saying we got to get people to check on the things that is valuable to us as a community. You know what I'm saying? You'll get to Hollywood. Your destination doesn't have to be Hollywood. If you make Hollywood where you're at, Hollywood will come. So I think that's what we have to do now. And if people want to understand what the fight and struggle is about, shameless plug, go to YouTube, punch in Darryl DMC McDaniels. I have a song called Fight, produced by Bumpy Knuckles, a.k.a. Freddie Fox, one of the greatest lyricists in the game, but he's also a great producer. We're starting to put out hard-hitting, b-boy, down-to-earth hip-hop that you can't put in a category that's going to do universal things that has done for individuals since its inception.
Nice,
So check
nice.
out Fight. And also, the reason why I'm doing this interview is my man KO. He's that little black kid that when Run DMC did Rockbox, King Rock, and Walk This Way, he was that little black kid that picked up his electric guitar and became one of the greatest players ever. He produced a song with me. And we actually have Captain Kirk on it, playing on it from the Roots. It's called Missed Opportunity. And that song is about, to sum it up, don't miss the opportunity to do something great that can make it great for everyone. So check out Missed Opportunity on YouTube, produced by KO, and check out Fight, produced by Bumpy Knuckles, featuring Darryl DMC McDaniels on both of those. And that will show you what I'm about to do.
That is exciting, man. I feel like we just got a breath of knowledge from one of the ones of wisdom that walked through it all. So I just appreciate you, man, and send God's blessing to you and your family out there. And I know you're going to continue to shine the light, man. I know you're going to continue to be a beacon. That's just what you are, man. I sense it about you, and I just appreciate you staying in there. I'm glad you didn't take your life, man. I'm glad you're here because God has something else for you to do. So I'm just glad that you are listening and being that beacon.
And one more thing. I forgot to add that I actually started a comic book company. So 3 years ago, when I got out of rehab, I was like, what do I want to do? I was like, I want to do a comic book. So you could go to any comic book store globally. You could go online. The company is called Darryl Makes Comics, DMC. Darryl Makes Comics. And really quick, it's an alternate world where DMC doesn't become the rapping superhero. I graduate St. John's University. I become a teacher, and I discover I have superpowers. So I'm not rapping, but the kids in school that I teach, they're doing rap, they're doing rock, they're doing punk rock, they're doing everything, every artistic culture and form that exists is in the book, except that I'm DMC, and in the alternate reality, I really am a superhero. So check out my comic book too. Darryl Makes Comic Books, available now, anywhere, everywhere.
You heard it here, y'all. You heard it here. DMC is not only a master DMC, but he's also an artist, and he has a comic book out. So y'all get ready to check it out. Check it out. As always, we should appreciate everybody that got to stay through the whole segment. I know it's a little longer than normal, but we should appreciate you rocking it out. If you enjoyed this content, man, share it with somebody. Put the share button right now. Hit boom, hit share. Send it with somebody who wants to hear something positive. You know, we all hear about the negative of hip hop, but he just broke down that it's not always like that, and he has a positive message to say. So share this episode with somebody so they can know what really happened behind the scenes. And of course, if you love the content, please hit us with a like or subscribe to the channel. Let us get the most updated content to you as soon as it's available.
Yes.
Last but not least, we just appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for being a part of Chasing the Impossible. DMC, we appreciate you, bro. And for everybody out there, stay blessed, take care, wash those hands, be safe. God bless. We'll talk to you soon.
I'll come back after the next comic book drop.
We'll
talk about it.
We'll talk to you soon, man. God bless. Take care.
Wait, you have to come to HeroCon. You gotta come to HeroCon. Remember, like we talked last time.
Okay, HeroCon. We'll get you a HeroCon.
When HeroCon at the Charlotte Convention Center, when I'm here, I want to see you and your camera.
We will make it work, man.
All right.
Y'all be blessed. Take care now. God bless.